Hey guys, Caleb Thornton here with a review of the G Pro Superlight from Logitech, which is their new and improved version of the original G Pro. Has some changes in there, most notably of those, of course, being that weight reduction, hence the name Superlight. It does come with a very hefty price tag, but also some great features and performance to back it up. In the box, you're gonna get your mouse, the dongle for the wireless connection, your micro USB cable, then also an adapter which can be used in conjunction with the dongle and that cable if you wanna route it around to get a better connection. Kind of an interesting inclusion, you'll get a puck that's normal and then also a puck that has PTFE on it to use on the bottom of the mouse. Then you also do get some included grips in there, just a little quick start guide to help you get up and going. Weight is where we see a big change from the original G Pro. With this one, the Superlight, almost coming in 20 grams less, sitting at just 63 grams. I have to say, so far all my time using it, feels really nice in hand. It's definitely perfectly balanced and it's getting to that point, where it just creates that kind of effortless movement where you want something to happen and the mouse can make a nice consistent glide and movement for you with that nice reduced weight, with the shape and size of it in hand. That 63 grams just feels really nice overall. And you might be wondering, did they cut any corners, as far as shell integrity goes? And still really solid even with all that weight reduction. The shell has absolutely no creaking or issues in it at all. Feels really sturdy even with it being almost 20 grams lighter, which is crazy to say. The shell texture itself is kind of a rubbery feel and it's weird. I don't like it a whole lot. I still find it to be a little bit slippery for my liking, and I found it to almost be something with whether it's be cold or warm in my room. It's winter here in Washington, so most days are in the 30s right now, and in my room it's getting pretty cold in there, and I just found that when it was cold, the grip is so not good. My hands just want to slip right the side, so grips definitely feel a lot better on this to me. When it was warmer though, my hands got a little bit more warmth in them, and I found I just get a better grip on it overall. The coating definitely shows sweat and finger oil on it, but it goes right away afterwards. But you can definitely tell when your fingers prints are getting left behind on it. Overall, the coating is decent. I would prefer something more grippy, but obviously just putting some grips on the side can fix that for you. The included charging cable is micro USB, and it is rubber as well, and I do understand USB-C is the superior connector, but I mean, with the wireless mouse, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, the only time you're using this is when you're charging it. I mean, you can use it while charging it with the cable, but just charge it while you're not using it. You don't have to worry about it. It's not a big deal to me, but if that really is that big of a deal breaker to you, then well, it is there because it's USB. Micro USB, it's not USB-C, so it just is what it is, but literally the only time you need to use it is when you're charging. Take a look at the bottom of the mouse. You do get some pretty big PTFE glides, and they, just looking at it, you might think they feel really good, but they really honestly just don't. They're very thin, and they just feel kind of chintzy. I would definitely recommend upgrading these if you're already gonna be spending this much on a mouse. You're just gonna want better glides on it. That's not like they're unusable, they just don't give that great of a glide overall. Of course, you can slap the extra PTFE puck on there, which just gives you a little bit more surface area. It does feel a little bit slower, but it also gives you a little bit more control, just having more area or surface area of the mouse on your mouse pad. So if anything, I would switch out after getting it. It would definitely just be these feet, because you could just get a lot more benefit from something like a Core Pads skates on the bottom versus the stock ones that come with it. As far as the switch on the bottom, that's literally only going to turn on or off your mouse for when you want to have it connected or not. If you do leave it just sitting there though, it will fall asleep by itself, and then you can just move it and it'll catch right back up with you. For the sensor, they are using their new Hero 25K sensor, because all of us, just really want to play on 25,000 DPI. I mean, seriously though, I don't know who in the world would ever play on that. Out of the box, it's going to come already preset on 800 DPI, and you will notice there is no DPI button on the mouse itself. So if you do want to change that, you are going to have to hop into the software. It's not that big of a deal, and for me personally, I play an 800 DPI in the first place, so it's not a big issue for me. But if you want to change it, you're just going to have to hop into that software and change it in there. Very simple to do, but obviously it is an extra step. You can't just tap a button on the mouse itself. The shape of the Superlight is exactly the same as the original G Pro, so if you put your hand on that, or it used to before, then you're not going to know what this feels like. And if you enjoy the shape of that one, well, this is only going to, of course, just feel better with that reduced weight that we see on the Superlight. For those of you that haven't used it though, it's that safe spot, that medium ambi, which of course, when a company is making a flagship wireless like this, like with the Razer Viper Ultimate or the Model O Wireless or the G Pro, they're going to choose a safe shape because you don't want to have a polarizing shape on such an expensive mouse. This thing, anyone's gonna be able to find a position on this, or a hand grip, no matter your hand size or grip style, something that's gonna be pretty comfortable to you. It might not be your Endgame shaped, so to say, but you're gonna be able to find something that's comfortable on this, and it's gonna work for 99% of people. And so far for me, I've been really enjoying the shape overall, just right in that sweet spot of being that medium ambi. You get 5 programmable buttons on the G Pro Superlight, and a lot of people are wondering, is that double clicking issue that was so prevalent with some Logitech's other mice, such as on the G Pro. Is that an issue here? Well, it's not. They're not using those same Omron 50Ms. They're now using an Omron 20M, so that issue is not going to be there anymore. And as I usually say with Logitech mice, I really do love how they do their button tensioning, and that's definitely the same case with this really nice, crispy, tactile response. And I'll go ahead and give you guys a sound test real quick so you can hear it for yourselves. So far, like I was saying, really nice, crispy, tactile response. Definitely no double clicking issues or any issues in general with my clicks registering in game. There is definitely a little bit of pre and post travel present, but nothing like out of the ordinary. And if anything, I would say it's on the lower end compared to some other mice. Really solid feeling overall. The biggest issue I would say is that there's a decent amount of side to side play in both my left and right mouse 1 and 2 clicks. Nothing horrible, again, that bothers me in game. Just when you're actually like pushing on it and checking for it, there's definitely quite a bit present there, so maybe a couple months down the road this will be a bigger issue, but for the couple weeks I've been testing it, still has not caused me any issues as far as like when you're normally playing. The only way you're really going to be able to tell is if you deliberately do it like I am right now. Moving on to the side buttons, kind of same story right there. A little bit of pre and post travel, a little bit of mushiness there. Nothing bad. I actually really enjoy the side buttons. There's a little gap between them, really easy to find, and they're in a good place for my thumb when I'm gripping the mouse in that claw grip. Overall, like the quality control on the buttons feels really good to me. No issues overall, and their scroll wheel feels also really nicely. It's not too tightly tensioned, but also not completely loose. The stages are easily to identify, and if you like to bind your scroll to stuff, you shouldn't have any issues using it. You do only get one form of connectivity on the G Pro Superlight, which is of course going to be that wireless connection, which is only achievable with that included dongle in there, so nothing like Bluetooth connectivity. But of course, with where this mouse is aimed more towards that top tier of gaming, no one's going to be using that Bluetooth connection mode in the first place. As far as what connection or connectivity type it's using that 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection, or what Logitech calls their Lightspeed technology. And as has been proven over time with the original G Pro and other of Logitech's mice, super spot on. I've had it in the front of my PC's I/O with like 3 other wireless devices in there too. Absolutely no issues finding a solid connection. Absolutely like no drop-offs or latency issues with the mouse. Really solid feeling overall, and it has been my entire like 2 weeks of using the mouse itself. For battery life, they say up to 70 hours, and I don't know why, for some reason with the Superlight, it just feels really good as far as battery life. I've only charged it once, and I've used it like, it feels like more than 70 hours over the course, of the couple weeks I've been testing it. Battery life just seems to hold really well. Obviously, there is no RGB or anything flashy like that in here, so they really are saving on battery life, and it definitely shows. When first hearing that price tag, $150, that might just seem unreasonable or really steep, but of course, this mouse isn't aimed at your average Joe who just hops on his computer to check his email every day. This is more aimed, towards those top tier, like esports level gamers who want the absolute cutting edge performance out of their wireless mouse. And with the G Pro, the original G Pro already being such a popular option, the shape being so loved by so many people, obviously this is going to be a great seller with it only just being improved upon with the innovations with the new one. And there's just not much bad you can say about this mouse. I mean, the only issues I would say is the stock skates are pretty chintzy. I would love to see that be better for the price tag, as well as a little bit of pre and post and side to side play in your clicks, as well as a little bit of pre and post on those side buttons, but that's very average for any mouse. And with this one, it's not like it's a huge issue. It's just a little bit there, and I like to point it out to you guys, especially with how much this will cost you. So for what it is, obviously I wouldn't recommend this just to everyone. I would recommend this to those of you that want that like cutting edge performance with the high level of gameplay. Like if you're a gamer and you want the best performance you can, well, this definitely gives it to you. And they're really, besides those few things that I would say are minor issues with it, there's just not much bad to say about it. Logitech definitely did a really good job with it. I don't think they cut any corners. I don't think the micro USB is a huge issue with it. I mean, I don't think you need a USB-C on it to make it, a top tier performing mouse. All you're gonna plug it in is to charge. So overall, definitely a recommendation for me. Again, just not for your average Joe, for those of you that want that top tier performance for gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you found it helpful or informative, please hit that like button for me, as it really does help me out, and it just takes a click from you. And if you want to see more tech content just like this coming up in the very near future, then definitely subscribe, because there's a lot more on the way. But I'll see you guys in the next video.